All right, welcome to another DFW Running Talk. I'm Chris Stetzel, and we have our special guest, Kevin
Almost.
Hebert. Kevin, how's it going, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I might keep that part in there just to show that I mess up sometimes.
Oh, good. You're
I'm
not the
trying
only
to-
one that says that way.
I'm sure. Usually I'll ask, but I thought I had this one I was like, oh, I got this.
Oh,
But I
good.
didn't.
Oh, good.
You and I met probably, I don't know, 8 years ago, 7. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Shoot,
Maybe
man.
6.
Yeah, like probably around 2014, 2015
Oh, has it been that
time
long?
frame,
Yeah.
maybe.
Oh, 10 years.
Yeah.
I remember it feels like it hasn't been too long. Like I knew you were, but we actually started running together a little bit during a 140 half kind of group. Is that right? Or was
That's
it
right.
130?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we did 130. Yeah. That was a couple years ago.
Yeah. And we just kind of hung out. Sometimes it's just you and me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get to know you a little bit. And then you were doing a lot of I say a lot. You've done several half marathons in the past. I think even back then, you and I were talking about marathons and stuff. And like, yeah, I'm not really sure I'm going to do one or whatever.
Yeah.
Somewhat recent, you ran your first marathon back in December. We'll talk about that pretty impressively. And you did something this weekend. But before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about you and when you started running and why.
Okay. I really started running in, it's probably around 2010. I didn't run in high school. I tried to avoid running in high school.
What'd you
I played
do?
basketball.
Okay.
So it was always punishment. Okay. I wasn't a good basketball player, but it was punishment and a small school, right? So everyone gets to play everything.
Me.
You know,
Went to Little.
funny to show how much I didn't like running. Our coach had us like, y'all are going to run with cross country in the off season. And I didn't even know what cross country was. I didn't know what that meant, but we'd run after school, like on the road in front of the school. It was pretty long. There was a donut shop at one end, at the far end. The other way was just a stop sign, and school had let out and we'd start our cross country workout. So I'd jump in the back of someone's pickup truck. They'd drive me to the end of the road by the donut shop. I'd get out, they'd drive home, and then I'd walk back. I just wouldn't run. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Why are we doing this?
That's funny, but you had to walk back. So 2 hours later, you're home.
Yeah, exactly. But no, in 2010, I met my now wife. I was living in Colorado, and
Remember this, dude? I remember your wife.
Yeah.
I used to run with her.
she's a runner. She's a runner. Yes.
Yeah. I think I knew her before I knew you.
Me. That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Got it.
So we met in 2010. I was not running at all. I hadn't ran since like college. And in college, again, punishment. I went to Texas A&M. I was in the Corps Cadets, and we ran 3 times a week, and then all kinds of punitive PT, we called it. So yeah, all kind of push-ups, sit-ups, everything just to make you uncomfortable.
Yeah. But that's good for you.
Oh yeah, I didn't bother me. Running never bothered me. I just didn't like doing it.
Yeah. Not just as, hey, I'm going to go out and do a run.
No, that would not be something I would say.
A lot of people are like that, even today.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm hitting 30 to 40 miles a week, and sometimes like, I don't really feel like it. I'm like, God.
Yeah.
I know.
And that's okay.
I mean, yeah.
You know,
I remember you and I would talk about, and we'll get back to your journey, but we'd talk about on Saturdays, you'd go home, watch the A&M game, and drink a lot. So Sundays might be out.
Smoke a brisket. Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about that.
I mean, yeah. But my wife, she was a runner. So we met, and I think like the weekend after we met, she was running a marathon. I'm like, wow, okay, that's cool. I didn't appreciate it because I didn't really know what that meant.
Were you married at the time?
Hard work. No, I just met. Just met.
So you're dating an athlete. That's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I always thought that's good, right? Like my wife is an athlete.
That's right. It is. It is very good. Active and be active together, which gets me to where my first like real race came from. We met in October, and that spring they have in Denver, the Running of the Green. It's a 7K. They call it like the world's largest 7K. And it's a very well put on race. It's right there in downtown Denver. And so I went and ran that. She said, "Do you want to run this?" I was like, "Sure, I'll run that." And she's all trained up for marathons. And I'm like, I'm going to beat her. I'm going to go out there and I can run and this and that. And she kicked my butt. And
The 7K.
Yeah, it just killed me.
Because you weren't training at all, right? Like you had zero training.
I was not running one bit. I'd ski a lot, but I wasn't running. And I was living at 10,000 feet. So I was pretty well acclimated to altitude.
Yeah. So you had a chance to beat her. I guess skiing's not really
it's different.
Yeah, it doesn't put you in shape like that.
Yeah, it's different. Different type of shape.
Yeah.
If you were cycling and skiing go together, quads.
Got it. But not running.
No. So then that summer came around and we're still dating, and she's, "Hey, there's this race I love to do every year in Vail. It's called the Vail Hill Climb. Would you would you want to come when I come there? Because I was living in Breckenridge. She was living in Denver. And she said, would you want to do that? And I was like, yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah, I'll do that. And I'm like, I don't know what it is. And she's 7.5 miles when you start in Lions Head Village in Vail and you run up to the top of the gondola. I'm like, okay,
Oh, that sucks.
That's fine. Like, again, it doesn't really register with me how terrible that is.
That's straight up a hill.
Yeah, you
mountain.
Zigzag up the cat tracks. I thought I was going to die.
That sounds,
I may have been the last person to finish that, and I didn't think I was going to make it to the top.
Remind you of your track or your cross country days in high school.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm walking
ducked off in the trees and taking a nap. Yeah, so I get to the
You're
top.
so dumb, dude. That was the dumbest
terrible.
thing ever.
You know, what we do for love. So,
yeah, we do.
Yeah, I ran up a mountain, and so it's 7.5 miles, 2,500 feet elevation gain.
Okay.
And I get to the top, and the first thing she says to me is, "Are you going to break up with me?" And I'm just like, "No." But I'm never doing
this. But
this
if you
again.
do this again to me, no.
Yeah, I will never do this race again. I've not done it again.
I'll do some of those, but 2,500 feet of gain is pretty good amount. Now, there's that 1 miler in Colorado that you go up the stairs in, not Boulder, but
what's it?
Colorado Springs. Yeah, Manitou Springs. And 1 mile is, 2,000 feet of gain? Something like that.
Probably.
Yeah.
I've not been to that spot. I've driven by it and you can see it in the side of the mountain there. And I can't believe that's what that is.
Done it twice. It took me an hour, like 56 minutes.
Not really.
And I was in good shape.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, this is rough. Because the first half is good. You're feeling pretty good. But then it gets harder and harder, even upstairs.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So anyways.
It's a lot of stairs.
So you run this 7K or the 7 miler and die. But
yeah. Running is generous. Yeah. A lot of walking.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. But we did that. And then the next time I ran after that was the next St. Patrick's Day, the running of the green for the second time. So this is my third run in 2 years.
Okay.
And we did that. And
it's in Colorado?
Yeah. That's the one in downtown Denver again.
So it hasn't moved to Dallas yet.
No, still there. And that time.
This is a DFW podcast. So I just hope.
I know. I was getting all ready.
Okay.
But so we ended up moving down here and moved down here in around 2011 and 2012 timeframe. And my wife, Brooke, she joined the Dallas Running Club and she did it for a couple seasons. And I went out and did like a 5K. What was it? The Trinity River Levee Run.
Yeah.
5K. And after that, she was like, you should join DRC. I think you'd really like this. I think it'd be fun. You should join. So I was like, okay, I'll do it.
Were y'all married then or no?
We had just gotten married, I think, just before that. We got married in 2013. I ended up signing up. I think 2014 was my first season with DRC.
I think that's mine too. 2013 maybe is when I started, actually.
Yeah. And
so why'd you move to Dallas? Job or something?
Yeah, work type related stuff. I was a ski bum in Colorado, so I wasn't really working hard. So I was enjoying life.
Do you miss it?
Yeah, we go back skiing a lot. So I don't miss making $400 and trying to figure out how to live for.
No, especially there in Colorado.
Yeah, no, it depended on how much I skied. If it snowed a lot, I didn't make any money. Ate a lot of very poor, cheapest food I could find.
So now you get a real job. All right. Sorry, we digress a little bit.
All good.
But that's what happens when you run together. You talk about that kind of stuff. That's
Absolutely.
what we're doing. We're running together.
That's right. But yeah, 2014 signed up for DRC. We were in the same running group. We signed up for the 140 half marathon group. And I'm trying to remember who pace leader was. I think it was Josh Connors, if you remember him.
Yeah, I do. I was running the full
pace leader. You were in full group?
Yeah.
Overachiever.
I was then. Now I've learned my lesson.
But it was fun. I enjoyed it. Didn't know anybody, just knew my wife, and got to obviously start meeting some people. And through that, you start doing the little runs on the training plan. You know, I was having fun. I was running twice a week. I'd do the Tuesday DRC run, which was the workout, and I'd do the Saturday long run.
It seems like Saturdays would get pretty tough once you have to hit that 12 miler, and if you're not doing those.
Yeah, those were big accomplishments. So that was just what I was in. I was having fun, and I wasn't looking to do too much more than that. I was enjoying, I could do the runs. And so the first real half marathon training run was that the DRC half is part of the training plan, but the actual race is the Dallas half, right?
Yeah. Or DRC half.
Yeah. DRC half. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fun.
It was one of those two. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember doing that first half marathon and again, we're in the 140 group. So, the goal was to run a 140. So
7:38.
I went out and so I went and ran better than that, which I was super excited.
First one you did?
You don't know what's going to happen. I
Yeah.
ran a 139. So
Nice.
hit the goal. And my favorite thing about it was at the end of the race, they had free hamburgers.
Yeah.
In-N-Out was there with a truck, and they had.
I remember that one.
Yeah, animal style. And I was like, man, running is awesome.
Yeah.
This is great.
You get hamburgers afterwards.
Shoot, man, it was great. But no, it was a great experience. Really enjoyed that, and was looking forward to the next was the Dallas Half. What's basically like a month later.
Do you like beer, by the way?
I do like beer. Yeah.
I was going to say, there's this 5K that was this last weekend called Velvet Hammer 5K. And
love Velvet Hammer.
Yeah. It was at the place, I forget the place, but there's
Petacolis?
Yeah. We ran it there, and there was, I don't know, 400 people there. You get 3 beers. And I brought my son, and so he didn't get those beers, right? So I had to give him somebody else. So they got 3.
You got his beers. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. I drank half a beer, man, because I had to drive home. But I'm saying those 5Ks, there's this one called, it's put on by Mi Casina. It's in Dallas, and they have all these drinks afterwards. You run a 5K, and then you just go downtown Dallas and you drink a bunch.
That's awesome.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm starting to get into this lately.
Yeah. The social aspect of it is a lot of the draw of running.
Yeah, that's right.
We all work hard and stuff, but it's fun to see people and, mix and mingle.
So you ran that first, and you did quite well, actually. I think my best my first was a 147.
Yeah.
But I was just training myself.
Yeah. No, I'm not a self-trainer person. I like the structure.
Well, I think it helps for sure. And running with people is obviously going to get you better.
Yeah. Makes a big difference. Big difference.
So you ran that, and then you decided, hey, I'm going to keep doing this.
Yeah. No, enjoyed it. And I stuck with DRC for a few years. I think I stuck with them all the way through 2018. So 4 straight years. I think those first 2 kind of training blocks, I signed up every training block. So I do spring, fall, and then I'll do summer fast track.
Too. Yeah.
And I think after a couple training blocks, then I volunteered and started pace leading, and did that.
What'd you pace lead?
I did half. It was all half stuff. So I did 135 and 130.
Okay.
It was most of what I did. And I did it like so many seasons in a row. They gave me a jacket.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a jacket as well. I didn't know you, when I first got there, I was pace leading, or not first, but eventually I started pace leading the full. And I'm like, eventually I was like, man, I'm tired of running full marathons. Like, it's not really, I get mad at every run because I'm running 20 miles or something. And I'm like, always pissed. My wife goes, why do you run marathons then if you're always mad? You don't have to. I was like,
yeah, that's
I'd never did again.
Yeah, you should enjoy this.
That was back in 2014 or 15 where I was this last time I ran a marathon.
Yeah. No, it's different. I'll tell you that, running a marathon. It's very different.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah. That whole stint there, if we say 2014 through 2018, I pretty much stuck to my guns of just running twice a week. I ran twice a week. That's all I did.
Good enough.
That was good enough. That's what I was there for. I could do the runs, enjoyed it. I wasn't real big and just on doing races. I just like training and running with people. It was a hobby, right?
Yeah. So you're not a big racer now, or you like them better? Or
I like them because I'm putting a lot more time into it now. So it's interesting to see one of my running buddies, David Clem. You probably know him. He used to always say, respect. He was a DRC guy. He ran 130 with us, did full stuff. And he'd say, just honor your training. You go put all this work in, honor your training, go out and try and do it, and go do a race and see where you are. So I like that. And
I like that. I really like that quote. Why do you do it? None of us are going to be, for the most part, professionals. I know some very fast people, and I think you do too, in the DFW area. For the most part, though, they might be called elite, but they're not doing it for a living.
Yeah, nobody is really, right?
No.
Everyone has a job, it seems. So
not that I know
it's
of.
not running.
I'd love to talk to them if so.
Yeah, or how can we do that? How can we make money off this? But
yeah,
no,
exactly.
So that basically that first half training I was just in a little bit different mode. Again, just enjoying the time. At that time, I'm never going to run a full. I don't say never about anything, but this I'll say never. I will never run a full. Yeah, totally sure. Went through all that, had a great time, met a lot of great people, and then I took a break. We started having kids. We had 2 kids after 2017. We had 2 kids, young kids, and so 2019. Took off running. I just focused on work. Obviously, COVID 2020 came. I was not running during that
at all.
And then
it's because you can run with people.
Yeah, I mean probably would have been a good time to start, it sounds. You have all this free time and no commutes and all that. But it started getting the itch again. And every now and again, I'd go out for a run, just, hey, I'm going to get back into
And
this,
enjoyed
you
it.
know. And it never really stuck. I'd go out and do a few runs here and there. And then I finally got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm getting back into this. I'm going to do this. I really want to do this. So I think it was, I started back. I was going to run by myself. My schedule's all different with kids and trying to balance that. And that's just part of it. So I was like, I'm going to do this by myself and I'm going to give this a real go, do a real half marathon training, run more than 2 days a week. And so
The first time ever.
Yeah. And
All right. Before we get there, what'd you do before? What was your best time and a half before that 2023 time? Do you remember?
Yes. Yeah. It was when rock and roll was still around.
Yeah.
I think that was in, I don't know, I got my notes here. That was the rock and roll in 2018.
Okay.
And
yeah,
I ran a 136.
Okay.
At
136.
rock and roll. I was like, man, it was like a redemption thing. I had like a lower leg injury the year before doing rock and roll. And so I kind of limped in and was just like targeted that for the next year and
Stuff happens,
kept
right?
running. And yeah, totally. And so that was my PR.
Okay.
36 there was my fastest time. I think some out of town races, I think were better races for me, even though the time wasn't faster, but go run Grand Teton. I did that in Jackson, Wyoming.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. So that was really fun. We did that like as a whole family thing with my wife and all of her family. We all went and ran.
Did
it
she run
together.
too? Okay.
Yeah, she ran that one. That was in June. And she ran that one after having given birth to our first son in January. So she ran a half marathon 6 months after giving birth and at altitude. So that was pretty amazing.
I bet that was hard for her.
Yeah. That
An altitude
would
period.
change things. Exactly. But she killed it. It was awesome.
I've had I don't know if you listen to them, but a few women on that really have had a couple of kids and all, and it's tough, right? Your mindset changes a little bit. And so you just wonder if you can do it again. And so it's really good that she got out there to do that. So that's awesome.
We don't do anything hard. That whole thing going through what they go through, which we don't fully understand. So much respect. So we had it easy.
I'm glad I don't have to go through it.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine.
Yeah. That's way tougher than I am. So
we digress.
But most of my stuff, that 2018 timeframe, everything kind of falls around the same. They're all right at 140, just under 140 half marathons. They're all like 21-minute 5Ks. Like it's just as much as I could get out of running twice a week.
So let's think about that before we get in. Like you were just half-ass in running. That's really all you were doing. And you're killing some times just doing half-ass running.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, like it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you want to do it. But it shows your talent is just off the charts. So we'll hear about that in a minute, I'm sure. Maybe. So you actually start training.
We'll see. Yeah. So I actually start training. I stay a member of DRC, even though I don't run with them anymore, but I keep up dues. And this in 2023, I signed up for them. I was like, I paid for the training plan is basically what I did. So I signed up for a half training. And so they send me the training plan. So I just ran it by myself, exclusively by myself.
Okay.
And my goal was just to finish the training plan. Like I signed up for the Dallas half, but my goal was just to do the training plan. So I got
do the Dallas half?
If I made it there, I was trying to do milestones here. Step 1 was run, and then step 2 was run 4 or 5 times a week. And step 3 was finish the training. Step 4 was run the half.
I feel like you have a thing for races or something.
Yeah, I was motivated. So my coming back to running was the breakfast bash, the DRC breakfast bash. You get the free tacos at the end.
Yep. Yeah.
So I did that in April of 23 and went out and did good. I did better than I thought I would.
What'd you do?
Was super excited. It's a 5-mile race. I ran a 34:21. I was super excited.
Wait. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just ran that race not too long ago. I feel like.
Yeah. I think I saw you there.
Yeah. I think I did. And I was, over the last year or two, you're always fit, but you're really looking fit. And we'll get into that in a minute. I mean, I don't want to say conformed your body, but you've really changed a little bit. Like it's obvious to me.
Yeah. No, it's been different. All the extra miles has really been different.
That'd do it.
But so I get to the end of that 2023 training block and we were in the middle of remodeling our house. And it was like, we need to finish the house or I can finish my training and do the half marathon. And I was like, man, really need to finish this house remodel. So I quit running 2 weeks before the Dallas half, and I did the remodel. But I did that with the plan of, you know what, I've done pretty good. I've made it this far. I'm going to put this down right now, and I'm going to come right back to it after this, and I'm going to do the next half marathon training block. So I did.
Wait,
sign back
you
up for
skipped
another one.
the half marathon?
Yeah, I didn't run it.
You
Yeah.
could have just, dude, 2 weeks isn't that much. Fair enough.
It's true. Yeah, it's true.
You still
But
could
I
have
wanted
done
to-
that and did.
I know, but I wanted to focus. I wanted it to be right. I didn't want to go do the race and not have put everything into it.
But
it
it's
wasn't
just
worth it
another
to me.
race. Like,
It was.
come on. All right,
I know.
Kevin. You're frustrating me already. Dude, it's just, but that's not how your mind works. So,
No, it's not. It's not.
okay. It's interesting. So I meet all
Yeah.
kinds of people, and I guess I just didn't know that about you. Like, you're like, I want to put it all out there
It's
before
all
I
or
do
nothing.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So I got back in, signed up for DRC half training again right after that. This time I did not all by myself. This is when you and I ran together. I came a few Saturdays. You know,
Yeah.
And probably that. I probably came 3 or 4 Saturdays, but did the rest of it by myself. I ran the entire plan. Everything that was on that training plan, I ran. So I went back, did breakfast bash was on the docket again as part of the training plan.
Yeah.
So I got to do that again and got a PR, beat my time, which was awesome. And
What'd
then
you get? I'm going to ask you, dude. Like, we're on the podcast.
Yeah, that's
Tell
that's
me.
fine. That was a 33:18. So a little bit better than the year before. And then with DRC races is pretty fun because you go get a decent time and you can win stuff.
Yeah.
I got second in Masters for that race, which I was like, man, this is awesome. You know,
How old are you?
coming back now or then.
How old are you now?
I'm 46.
Okay. I'm still older, so.
You're still older a little bit. So did that. And then the big race at the end of that training block was the Tal Morrison.
Yeah.
And man, couldn't have had worse weather.
Pretty hot.
No, it was warm, humid. I think it's like 25-mile-an-hour winds. So this is exactly a year ago.
That's awesome.
It was terrible.
I remember that. Yeah.
It was horrible. So,
I
but I went, and my old friend David Clem, I remembered hearing him say, honor your training.
Exactly.
Don't be stupid and show up and try and do some crazy pace with warm, humid, high winds. But I did. I was going to honor my training.
That's all right.
And that's what I was like, this is what I came here to do. I came here to run a 130, and I'm going to run a 130. The first 6 miles were
Perfect.
yeah. And then it was over. I thought I was going to die. No nutrition.
Yeah, because you're running 640s and okay.
No nutrition. Yeah. I'd never, maybe some of those half marathons I'd done in the past, I maybe had some jelly beans, but I never ate anything. Like didn't really.
At that speed,
ever
you need
have
to
a need
really
for it.
start thinking about nutrition.
Yeah. I
Probably need
realized
to
that.
anyways, but.
Yeah, totally. So
Did you
But-
not ever run like whenever you're running the miles? You never did you hadn't.
I didn't, not till I started full stuff. But finished with a 137. And
Almost
no,
a PR.
I was super bummed just because I was so far off of 130, but I didn't realize it. That whole second half of that race, I kept just waiting for the shame of all these people passing me. Hey, there's that guy that was out real fast, and then I'm going to pass him.
We all do.
And no one caught me. Like the whole next, whatever that was, mileage wise, 6, 7 more miles, no one caught me. I finished the race. And then I come to find out I got first in my age group.
Perfect.
And that's the thing about bad weather is everybody suffers.
That's right. You're not the only one.
So it totally flipped. I was like, man, that's awesome. I can't believe I did that. Like that was
Great.
awesome.
You actually
just happy
turned
to
it into a
finish.
positive.
Yeah. I was happy to finish. So I didn't know if I'd finish or not. I really
Did you
didn't.
come out like with the positive, like the next day or two? Were you happy with that? And then,
Yeah.
okay, so you weren't like
Yeah.
down upon yourself because you didn't hit the 130?
No, I was actually quite the opposite. I came out really freaking motivated where I finished that race because I finished the training, right? That was goal 1, finished the training. And goal 2 was to go do the half. I finished that and I'm like, you know what? I just did that whole training plan top to bottom for a 130 training plan. I was like, I think I want to run a full and see where this goes. I don't want to stop now. I want to build on this.
I feel like it's interesting because back in 2018, you were running the same time with just 2 days. So I'm glad
Mhm.
that you somehow got motivated and said, hey, I ran a 137. This time I ran the 130
know.
plan. I didn't get
Yeah.
close.
No, I didn't get close.
That,
I really did.
Wearns, you're definitely a 130
There's a lot.
or
Yeah.
below. Oh,
Yeah. No, I had confidence in my ability at that time. The only thing I had going against me was I just hadn't been running very long.
Yeah,
Like running
sure.
is a long game and building your
1000%.
aerobic system is a super long game. I'm still as I heard on a podcast, like I'm still a toddler here with my aerobic systems. But no, I was like, okay, I want to run a full, right? So that was my goal. And then I made a goal of, if I'm going to run a full, let's make an actual goal of what I'm going to train for. That training was, I'm going to run and I'm going to qualify for Boston in my first marathon. That was my goal.
So I already know where this is going, but because I already know the story, but things I tell people all the time is generally you won't make Boston your first time. I'm not saying there's not people that do. It's an ambitious goal. And maybe you should have that goal, but also you should think about, in my opinion, hey, look, like you said, running is a long game. You've never run a marathon. You really have no idea how you're going to do ever. You just don't know.
Yeah.
Like you ran a 137 and a half, and it's decent, but it's not even close to where you wanted to be, and weather and things like that. Can't control the weather. You don't know what your body's going to react to. Be ambitious. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but also be realistic that it might take a few times to do it. But anyways.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I'd ran with a lot of people that had chased that. And I knew it was a huge goal. Like this goal was bigger than me and bigger than what I thought I could do. But I just thought it would be a good motivator.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that.
I needed to be dedicated, and I was going to, once training stuff started, I was going to be running longer distances than I've ever ran. Every run was like, oh, that's a new distance PR. Hey, a new distance PR. Hey, a new distance PR,
What was the time you had to hit? Do you remember?
3:20 was the Boston qualifier when I started my training.
And now it went down to 3:15.
It did, yeah. It actually went down to 3:15 a couple months before my first marathon.
So, I'm sure that was a motive.
That was a little bit of a gut punch to see that. But no,
and really, you need to do 3 or 4 minutes below that, probably.
Yeah, you have to figure it out. But yeah, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to go from running this half distance, maxing out at, I think I maxed out at 35 miles during my training plan for half.
Decent. Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah, it was, I think the DRC plans are good. They do a good job.
They do.
And so I was like, okay, so I have the summer. Oh, and I met some people that ran fulls at that time. And I met them like twice. I ran with them like 2 times. Nick Polito was one of them who I still run with. Ran with these people like twice. And they're like, yeah, we're going to go run the CIM. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that sounds good. I'll sign up for that. So I signed up for CIM, and I think
we all know Nick, by the way.
Yeah, that guy's amazing. He is a staple in our community, and man, that guy can put down some miles. He's done a lot.
He's always putting down miles, 250 miles a week or a month.
That's unbelievable. Yeah,
always.
He's a machine. I just knew that going into that summer, here I am. I've signed up for a marathon, and I need to start figuring out how I'm going to build miles. I need to get my body ready to be able to do a marathon training. So I started in that summer, this summer, I'm going to run with these guys.
Yeah,
Nick, Polito, and Andy, who's been on your podcast. They run a lot with the co-op. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to...
Pretty much all they run with is the co-op.
Yeah. And I'm just going to run miles. And so I didn't have a plan.
I think that's smart.
I just went and whenever they're running, I'm running.
Well, so summertime, right?
15 miles, I'm running 15 miles. If they're running 20 miles, I'm running 20 miles. So I did that summer. And I learned some things.
Was it really?
The runs were fine. I had a couple lessons learned through there getting started. One was electrolytes, because again, this was all uncharted waters for me. I got like vertigo after one of my like 18-mile runs early on that summer. Like woke up in bed and the room started spinning, and I was like super dizzy and didn't have good balance. And realized it was electrolyte deficiency. Yeah.
Makes sense.
And so learned that the hard way. Hey, kids, take your electrolytes while you're running in the summer.
You'll be all right.
Sounds like a good idea.
Salt tablets, if some people like that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot out there I've learned. So did the summer with them. And sometime through there, I got a coach.
Okay.
And again, David Clem, who I ran with at the DRC, he's, hey, I know a guy. I think you'd like him. Let me put you in contact with him. And I'm like, okay, sounds good. He shares in contact for my coach now. We end up working together, Greg Rankin.
Yeah. I love Greg.
He reaches out to me and he interviews me. I interview him type of thing, see if we're going to be a fit. And that worked out. So he took me on and continued on with that, just running miles in the summer. And then in the summer, then the training started. And again, I'm like, I don't know what this is going to be like, but I'm super excited. Every day, when I went to bed, I was excited to wake up and run. I could not.
Did you ask him about like nutrition or anything like that? Or was it more of, hey, here's your miles? Because he can help with that too.
Totally. Yeah. Okay. I know I did. I asked him all kinds of, and all those guys. That was these guys I was running with, Nick and Andy and a lot of these other folks from the co-op, they've run like 30, 40 marathons. Nick's probably ran like 30 ultra races. Like it's just, It's off
Yeah.
the charts. And I'm just starting.
Nothing better than the community.
That's right.
Get that. Yeah.
That's right. And that's what I wanted. It's the same as DRC when I started. I'm running with people that have been running with DRC for several years. You just pick up, that's how you learn mistakes and from other people.
I love that you got a coach for your first marathon. That's rare, but you're pretty focused. I like that.
Yeah. I knew that majority of my miles I'm going to be running by myself.
Yeah.
Monday through Friday and Sunday, I was running by myself. And then I was able to get the Saturday runs with them. So I was going to the Saturday runs. But yeah, so started the marathon training and learned about gels. I started taking gels that previous summer, just nutrition, right? You got to get yourself right, and sleep, good diet. All those things are all part of the trifecta of being successful here. So I'm pretty methodical with all that. So also, when I started that training block, I'd ran with someone one time and they told me they quit caffeine. And I was like, man, that sounds really stupid. Like, why would
I would never do that? But yeah,
that sounds terrible.
Especially just
they were
like coffee.
Yeah, I love
it. Me too. Most people do. Let's just put it that way.
Absolutely.
That'd be a very hard thing to quit.
Yeah, I did. He told me better sleep, lower anxiety. I was like, man, what else do you need to say? Who doesn't want that? So
you're doing all this running and that helps lower anxiety. I can have my coffee in the morning, but I'm already tired. Like I can sleep just fine after doing 20 miles in a day.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead. Yeah. I love it, man. That's pretty cool that you did some of this stuff.
Yeah. And it helps with hydration, not drinking coffee or caffeine per se. So anyways, yeah.
Are you still off the coffee?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah, over a year. It's been over a year.
That's too bad, man. I was going to ask if you want to go get a coffee. All right, keep it.
Yeah. It's a pretty boring life these days. No coffee, rarely any alcohol.
What? Anyway. Are you serious? Wow.
It's cut back a lot. Yeah.
Oh my God. This running thing is really taken too serious.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not the person I used to be.
That's probably a good thing. I'm sure your wife doesn't hate that. I don't know. You'd have to tell me.
Yeah. No, I think it's good on all fronts.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. So you go to this training block.
Yeah. So start the training block. And one of the things for me, like starting it is if I'm doing any of the runs, if Greg told me to go run through White Rock Lake, I'm going to go try and run through the lake, right? I don't know, just prescribe me and I'll run it. But when we started just feeling things out, I was doing these different runs and doing quality workouts on Tuesdays and maybe something else on Thursday a little bit. But I just asked Greg, I was like, man, these paces, like these are just, you're giving me these paces based on what, I want to do, which at this point I'd set like a time goal for myself, which I don't know if you should do that or not, but 3:20 Boston qualifier time. I made up a time of 3:12. My goal is to run a 3:12 in my first marathon. And that was only just because of the buffer. I've heard everyone talk about the buffer. This sounds like a good buffer. Again, I have no idea if I can make a completely made up number, like 100% made up number.
I think that's the number that you'd probably would have had if you wanted to hit Boston.
Yes. But as far as actually thinking I can make that is a different story.
Yeah.
We're just going to do the training.
To me, when I said about true Boston, like trying to qualify first, but you have the ability. That was obvious. So I like it. I don't hate that. It's really nice. Good.
So it was good. Gave me a target, but started the training stuff with Greg. And I asked him, like, I'm fine. All the stuff you're telling me to run is awesome. I feel good. I like the workouts, but I just want to make sure that when I'm doing these workouts, the paces I'm running, I want to make sure I'm running paces that are fully benefiting me. I don't want to go run too fast. I don't want to go do something too fast because that's what the goal thing is. I want to build and make sure I'm doing this, getting the most out of these runs. And he said, absolutely. And this is right when we were about to start the training block. And he said, let's go do a 2-mile time trial. And I was like, that sounds awesome. I Google it because I don't know what that means.
Just run your fastest 2 miles is what he said.
Go run your fastest. That's what it. Google. That's what Google
said. That's what Google said.
So, yeah.
ChatGPT nowadays.
So smart. So smart. So I did that. And then he's okay. Now I can dial this in and then we'll get started. So
what'd you run?
Good.
Do you remember?
Yeah. I wrote it down. I ran 12:32.
Damn. That's fast, dude. That's really fast.
I wanted to do good. I was like 15 pace or something.
2 miles. Good. No, if you could just do that for the marathon.
I know. It's so easy. These marathons.
Anyways.
Just like a 2-mile time trial.
Yeah. You have a lot of talent, dude. There's no doubt.
Part of that was, again, just running what he told me to run. Whatever he told me to run, I'd run it. I enjoyed all of it. I looked forward to it. Felt good. Didn't have a whole lot of hiccups with nutrition or recovery or anything like that. Everything really, he built a great plan and I trust him. So it really worked well. during that, and I know you'll like this, during the training, there was a couple or one race that we were going to do, my wife and I and her sister and her sister's husband, we went and did a trail race.
Yeah. I love the
And
trails.
this was during my
It's been a while.
training, and I've never done, this was my first trail race, and it was in Aspen.
I think
It's
you
called
told me.
Aspen Golden Leaf.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a half marathon. You run from Snowmass to Aspen. And that's interesting. That's interesting.
Did you like it? It sounds like
No, I didn't like it. I liked
it's a lot harder,
over.
huh? Yeah.
Yeah, it's super hard.
It's ridiculous.
Super technical,
Yeah.
single
even worse.
track. I'm there to do a race. I'm going to do my best.
Yeah,
Okay?
of
I'm
course.
not going there.
Did you fall at all?
Yes, I did fall. Head first slide, like down
Yeah.
a washout, like downhill. My Garmin like wants to call emergency services, and
That's great. You probably
you know,
needed it.
scraped up my side. It's
Messed up
what am-
your marathon training.
what am I doing? Rolled my ankles like 8 times.
Yeah.
Just, man, I tried really hard. I was super proud of myself and was able to do that.
That's
But I don't want to do that again.
Maybe you do
That's
something a little
not-
smaller. You just kind of, whatever. Just get yourself in. Don't go all out on a trail that you never heard of or been to.
Yeah. Or done.
Done.
Even a run on a trail.
Yeah,
that was my first
exactly.
run on a
Practice
trail.
a little, just like you're doing the marathon.
Yeah. But roads are good. I like roads.
It's a lot easier.
Yeah. There's some Dallas roads that are like trails.
Yeah, for sure.
But,
Potholes.
Yeah. But did that. And then, so getting close to the end of the training block in the Dallas Turkey Trot, it was in November. My marathon was in December.
Perfect time.
And so I've gone through this whole training block and I hadn't really done any road races. I know I have all this fitness. Like I feel so strong as a runner. My heart rate started going down early in that training block because I ran all summer. And so I knew my fitness was anywhere
Really good.
it had never been before. And so my wife and I, we go do the turkey trot, and I was doing the 5K, and I was like, I don't even know what to run. I don't even know what pace to go run. And I hadn't done a 5K in years. And Greg and I talk, he's start out at this. If you feel good, then speed up. And I'm like, sounds good. So went and
Coach can
started
tell
out
you
running
exactly what
that.
to do.
Yeah. Ran the first mile. I was like, I feel pretty damn good. I'm going to pick it up. Picked up the second mile, felt even better, and picked up even faster the third mile. I'll be damned. I got first in my age group at the Dallas Turkey Trot. And I'm like,
What'd
I
you run?
can't believe that. It was 1846.
Damn. You're ready, man.
My PI before that was like
21.
22 or 21 minutes, which was a long time ago. But that was just like, wow, that was cool.
That
You
felt
know, like,
good. I'm
That
sure.
felt really good.
Not to rain on your parade, but a lot of the sloth guys came out this last weekend and ran that Velvet Hammer 5K. I think it was like 1603 and 1640, stuff like that. But anyways,
Those guys are amazing.
most of them are pretty young. Or
Yeah. Younger,
maybe
yeah.
early. There's some guys in their early 40s. So.
Yeah. I got a lot of respect for them. I was
Hardcore,
wondering what the oldest person in the sloths was. I was like, maybe someday I can be the oldest person.
If you went there now, you probably would be, right? Because
Maybe.
Brent is 40.
Yeah. He
And
just
he's-
turned 40.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's ruin all my master's dreams at these DRC races if he shows up now.
Yeah, for sure. That's true.
Yeah. Knocked me down a notch there. But
That's all right. You still have a chance. He's not usually at all of those races, right? So
he can't go to every race, right?
No. gets a lot,
But,
but
Yeah. But yeah, so then after that, nothing but confidence in CIM,
yeah,
just in the fact of, I know I'm in good shape. I've done everything, get through my taper, and then we head out to Sacramento to do CIM. When I signed up, there was like 3 other people, I think, that were going to be going. None of them ended up going to this race. I ended up going, just my wife and I went. She didn't run, but that was I was there by myself, basically. Yeah, he got hurt before that. But again, I was like,
you're here
business
in good
trip.
shape.
I'm here to go do what I'm came to do, and I'm
Yeah.
in good shape and figure this out. But really leading up to it, the biggest anxiety is I've not ran 26 miles. 2, I've never ran 26 miles at this pace that I'm trying to run it at. So that unknown is like no other feeling I'd had in some time. So that was pretty interesting. So going into that race, getting to the start line, just super excited, and got with Greg before the race. He told me, let's start here and then build from there. And I'm like, okay, that sounds good. So those first couple miles, I had all my race plan. I talked to everybody beforehand. So I had on my nutrition plan, everything, but just learning from all the people I've been running with. I want to go into this as smart as possible. So started the race exactly at the paces Greg and I talked about. I got through those first couple miles because it's like a pretty sharp downhill at the first. He's hold it back. And then from here, take it from there. And I think my pace to do the 3:12 was like a 7:15 pace, I think, something like that. And I start doing this run and I'm just like clicking off like 7:12s and I'm not like laboring. I feel good. But all I knew was people have told me about this thing called the wall. And I'm like,
mile 19 or 20. Yeah.
I'm scared to death. I'm like, man, I don't want to feel like I'm dying.
The nutrition,
all these things. And so the whole time I'm running, all I kept telling myself was slow down. I'd look at my watch. I'm at 7:10, slow down, slow back down, slow back down. And so I do that, get all the way till 18, 16, 18. And I'm like, I don't feel anything different. I feel great. Just keep going. I get to like 24, 23, 24. I was like, man, just close this thing out now.
Go.
Maybe pick it up. Let's pick it up. A couple seconds later, I was like, you know what? Don't pick it up. You've already got this in the bag. Just finish. You're already beating 3:12. And I finished that race 3:08, 58.
Dang. Sorry. You have to sorry.
Oh, good.
That's awesome, dude. Wow. Your first marathon at 3:08.
Yeah. I wept. I cried.
I mean, I want to cry for you right now, dude.
I couldn't believe it.
You're so, like, you changed everything. Your mindset, you changed your diet, you changed the way you run. Everything changed about you. Like, I think you're a different man than I knew. I don't even know who you are different now. Like, this is it's pretty awesome, though. I love it, dude. The focus that you did, the sky's the limit. All right. So I know we don't have a ton of time, but you ran that marathon. That's awesome, dude. And you cried a little bit. And you're like, hey, I want to do this again.
Yeah. And I wanted to do it again immediately because I wanted to see what I could do. And so I talked to Greg and he's, what do you think about Eugene? And I was like, I don't know anything about Eugene, but I'll look it up. I looked it up and asked my wife if she'd want to go as well. She said, yeah. Awesome. So signed up for Eugene. So is not a super quick turnaround from December and then into April.
Yeah. Give yourself a few months.
Yeah. Went right back into training. Great training block. Really enjoyed it again. Super motivated.
That's awesome.
Made a new goal for that one. My new goal was a sub 3.
So different.
Very different. Very different.
It sounds like you had a lot left from that first marathon and you were a little bit like, oh my gosh, I got to do better than that. And and bringing that goal, I think a sub 3 is certainly doable for you. There's no doubt.
Yeah. But again, trying to make some huge goal, big goal out there. Do I really think I could do a sub 3? Probably not. But you know what? I'm going to put the training in. And give it a go. So I had a great training block. I went out there. It couldn't have been more perfect weather, the most perfect weather. It was 40 degrees at the start. The high before the race was even going to end was going to be like 50. No wind.
Dude.
It was perfect. Get to the start line. My training plan or my running plan with Greg, we talked about it. It was like, okay, start with the 3-hour group just behind them. After the first couple miles, just work your way in front of the 3-hour group. And then stay at that pace just ahead of them. And once you get past 13, then I want you to start chasing the 255 group and just go off of how you feel. So it's negative split and push the second half, right?
Yeah.
So my pace, overall average pace for this is 6:51. And so I get on the start line. I'm there with the 3-hour group and the race starts. And I look down and I'm not with the 3-hour group. They're like ahead of me already, like within the first mile. And I look at my watch and I'm running like 6:42. Okay.
Yeah, they're going too fast.
I'm like, what in the world is going on? I'm supposed to be running with this 3-hour group and they're running away with it. So I get through my first mile split. I think it was 6:43. Get to my second mile split, 6:45. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, where is this 3-hour group? I'm never going to catch these guys. So I'm like, okay, I'm letting them go and I'm going to do my own race.
Okay, good.
I back off to my 6:51. I started clocking off 6:51, 6:53 paces. And the first half of Eugene is hilly. The second half is like a downhill and then it finishes with a couple miles uphill.
Okay. That's tough.
So yeah, it is. I felt really good, like aerobically in the first half, the first 13 miles, but I had this lower leg thing flaring up, like right between your calf and your ankle. You ever got that? I get it every now and again with like real hard hill workouts. I can get like it flares up, but that starts happening to me in this first half of this race. And I'm like, man, don't do this right now. Cause I'm thinking I got a long way to go.
Yeah. Get 13 more miles to go.
I got a long way to go. So I get through that and it's just really painful. I notice I'm limping and I'm like, easy to make choices this time. You're tired and you have this pain. I'm going to back off. And I freaking pulled the plug on the 3-hour dream and slowed down just because I wanted my leg to stop hurting and I wanted to finish the race.
Yeah.
And you kind of go to those plan B, plan C type things.
Yeah.
Kept plugging away, dropped my pace back. I was probably running, I don't even know, 7 at this point. And I'm like stopping at the side, drinking water. I think I actually went to the bathroom one time. I'm like, I'm just going to enjoy the rest of this race.
Yeah.
And
nothing wrong with that.
And just enjoy it. And got all the way to the finish. I was able to push at the end and finished 33 seconds off my CIM just behind it. So I basically ran the same race, just very differently. And man, I stopped running after crossing that finish line. I could barely walk. I was like, my leg hurt so bad. I was like, holy cow.
The hills kind of got to you, it sounds like. Up and down.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
Totally. And I've listened to I listen to all your podcasts. I've listened to Jill Wolf.
Yeah. It just came out today.
Yeah. Yeah. I was on it quick. But hearing her talk about, it's about the second half of the race and she's going to go out and she's going to push and give it all. That's part of this experience I learned that I'm going to take from Eugene is I don't know that I couldn't have kept running at a fast pace. Greg had told me before the race, you're going to hurt in the second half of this race, but you're going to hurt whether you run slow down or you're going to hurt whether you keep your pace. And I believe him in that. I was just probably more scared to try it.
Yeah.
That's I'm going to take that experience and go forward. My second marathon, I got to get some experience here. So
to me, fair enough. You're going to learn, but still excellent. It shows that you still have easily that 3:08 pace. So that's pretty awesome.
A very different course. CIM's a way easier course than that.
Yeah.
It's very different, very different. And
it's
very different races.
Exactly. So go back to CIM and see how you do.
Yeah.
Or
I'd
whatever.
love to. Yeah. But I'm excited, to think that when I started this journey, it's like, hey, I want to qualify for Boston, my first marathon, and being able to do that. And then here I am running my second marathon and I qualify again. And that was the thing I left out. Like before CIM, 2 months before my race, they dropped the qualifier to 3:15 for 2026. And here I am, I've ran 2 marathons and I've eclipsed that with 5-minute and a 6-minute buffer.
Freaking awesome.
I'm just so proud. I'm so proud.
I'm proud of you, man. I am so proud of you. Like, I'm so pumped, and I will see you in Boston next year. I won't.
Yeah.
Leah will, but I'll be cheering you guys on.
I'm so excited. So I look forward if the buffer doesn't get more than 6 minutes and 2 seconds or however that works, I'll be there. If not, I'll find another race. I'll do something else. But I'm going to keep running, and that's my plan. Maybe a Houston marathon, but my real next goal race is going to be Boston. So this summer, take it easy. I just keep miles up and keep working at that and enjoying running with people and looking forward to doing more of that. That's so enjoyable. There's so many people out there. I've ran with White Rock Running Co-op a bunch. I've been to several Pegasus runs. I mixed in some Pegasus runs this past training block.
I was thinking about doing that, running more with the co-op on Saturdays, but then maybe even run with the Pegasus group every so often, talk to them. So might as well run some.
Yeah, absolutely. No, a lot of good people. I enjoyed running with them. I did a long run with Jill, actually. That's the first time I'd met her on I don't even know what it was, like a 22 or 22 mile run or something. Again, I was just trying to I knew nobody at that training group, but they're super cool, super welcoming. And at the end of it, you gotta run.
Just go run with some people that are welcoming. You don't want to go somewhere you're a pretty serious dude too, or at least from a training standpoint. Sounds like you got pretty darn serious. I love that.
Yeah. No, it's been good. It's been a good mileage build back from those half days of 35-mile training block peak week. This Eugene training block, I peaked at 70. And so that's most of it for me. Going into this, I was like, can my body hold up? And so far it has. So
it's awesome. Congratulations. Is there questions I probably should have asked and I didn't? I feel like I could just keep going on, actually.
I don't think so. Just happy to be here and keep going.
Hey, man, I really appreciate you getting on and telling us your story. And it's motivating to me. And it's really cool to see you get serious and really try to look at what your potential is, because you're not even close, dude.
Yeah.
Not even close. You're just starting. So, if you play it smart, it sounds like you are. You got a coach that's helping you. He's great. He's going to be on this podcast at some point, him and his son. So it should be fun. So I love it, dude. Wow. That's awesome. That's pretty cool. Great story, inspiring, and almost wants to make me get back in the marathon. I'm going to pass. But the coffee thing the coffee thing gets to me a little bit. But Kevin, thanks so much for getting on. Really do appreciate it. Thank you everyone for tuning in to another DFW Running Talk. Don't forget to rate and review us. We do have a newsletter. Please subscribe, dfwrunningtalk.substack.com. We do have Instagram and Facebook and all of those things. Just look it up, search it, DFW Running Talk. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Kevin, thanks so much for telling us your story.
You bet. Appreciate you.
All right.